Good evening, guys. So I took some notes for this assignment. So if you see me looking down or turning pages, that's just the notes that I wrote down for this. So behavior to me, like as a kid in school, I didn't have too many big behaviors, but I'm raising 3 boys, and that's one giant behavior in itself. So I kind of take the approach that I take at home at school. Of course, it's kind of like, all right, you're gonna get a warning, then after that we're gonna, like, it escalates as you escalate, if that makes sense. And that's kind of how I took this assignment. So like the first situation that could arise is just kind of, maybe a student is like not raising their hand and just blurting out the answers. Nothing too bad, but that's also a behavior that we don't want to continue throughout the whole school year. So for something like that, I would use just a simple intervention, where it's like I would give them a look, or, just kind of go around, maybe give them like a tap, like, hey, no, that's not something we do. And then just kind of redirect them and let them know, like, hey, I love that you have the answer, but here in this class, we raise our hand if we have the answer and wait to be called on. That way they know, like, okay, in case they forgot, like, okay, I do have the answer, but I do still have to raise my hand and wait for her to recognize that I do have my hand raised and that I know the answer. Another thing that I was thinking of, like, behavior-wise, just because I was a para for a little bit in Orlando, so something that I seen come up a while, like when the students get free time, whether that's like at dismissal waiting for the bus, or if there happen to be like an indoor recess situation, or whatever the case, and the students get to sit around the room. Sometimes I've seen students like not do that appropriately. So whether they're playing around or whether they're, just talking loudly about something, that they shouldn't be talking about at school to begin with, something like that were, to occur, then I would just take that privilege away. Like, okay, you don't get the privilege of sitting around the room during free time anymore. You will have to sit at your desk until you earn that privilege back of being able to sit around the room or sit with your friends. Just that kind of stuff. Like, if you abuse a privilege, then it's going to get taken away. So that's, what I would use for like what was the second one? The moderate intervention. I would use that for something like that. The third one, I tried to think of like a situation, because I know like bullying is a more intense one. That's something completely different, but something that would require a more intense would be like if the student is just kind of screaming and throwing things in the classroom. I wouldn't want to necessarily go straight to up, you gotta go to the office, but I would try, like, a strategy I saw was like the think time strategy. I really think that works for, young students. I want to teach like first grade. I'll settle for second if I have to, but I want to teach like first grade. So I think, giving them like a pass and being like, hey, go see, partner teacher, whatever that name of that teacher is, and then they sit in there. I think something like that would work. I know in my classroom specifically, we're going to do like the daily behavior charts. So whether it's a good day or a bad day, the parents will be notified of what type of day their student had. So that way that's a conversation that not only are we having in class, but the parents can have at home with them as well.